Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the 5 kilowatt diesel heater from BougeRV. Now from what I've read, first of all it says that this thing is super quiet, and that is a big thing to say about diesel heaters. No one likes to really listen to that clicking of the fuel pump all the time. Also they say that this thing is portable, like it's just unplug it, pick it up, and get going. They say that the whole thing is kind of self-contained except for the exhaust pipe, which you can just screw on and off. It can be easily moved and transported with just a couple minutes. Because I do know that I've put together other diesel heaters, and the installation process can be pretty extensive. But this one says you can pull it out and get it all set up and fire it up within a couple minutes. And it also does say that this diesel heater does come with a remote, which is standard, but it also does come with an app that you can install on your cell phone. So you can actually control this thing from inside your RV or tent with your phone. Well, let me stop yapping and let's go ahead and get this thing opened and see what's inside. All right, when you first open it up, the first thing you'll see is the user's manual, which is really nice. It's all in English for the one I have, and it's pretty thick. There's a lot of information in here. There is also taped to the styrofoam is the remote. All right, there is the diesel heater, and then there is the accessories box right here. All right, inside your accessories box are some hose clamps and some screws. It looks like the outer part of your vent. Here is a cigarette lighter adapter connected to an XT60 port with the silencer and another hose clamp. Here is another box. Oh, with an AC power brick. That's nice. I know that's a huge complaint for people. They don't know how to plug this in. They have to plug it into like the DC port of a power station, and some power stations don't work. And then other people have to actually custom cut and crimp their own wiring. So having an AC plug with a conversion brick to DC is a huge plus. And see, they also actually gave us the cabling so we can connect it up to a 12-volt battery. And that actually has the ringlets that connect to an XT60 plug. Here is the exhaust hose, and you can see that one side is threaded right there. And then last but not least, this is your output duct for your hot air. All right, so let's go ahead and actually look at the diesel heater now. This right here is the side with the exhaust port. So you just pull out this little plug, and you would take your exhaust port and just screw it in, just like that. Go ahead and tighten it all the way down, and your exhaust is ready to go. All you have to do is connect up your silencer. Here is where all the heat is blown out of the unit right here. And you can also see, this is like a fuel gauge. So when we fill it up, we can actually see how much fuel we have in there. It looks like it can hold up to 5 liters of diesel. And then there's also a QR code right here where you can download the BougeRV app. And it also gives you the model information and the operating and starting powers. This side is just completely blank except for it says BougeRV, and it is kind of raised up on this metal case, which is nice. All right, here is, I want to say the back side of the unit. Here's your display, and we also have 2 turnstile knobs. They also both have buttons. This one does say plus on this side, minus here, and this one says time. Here is the XT60 for your input of power. It does say that it accepts 12 volts or 24 volts. And right here is the air intake. This is the air that gets blown in to blow out the hot air from the other side. On the very top, we have our fuel cap. And it does twist and click lock, so you know that it's closed. And then we also have our 2 pop-up handles right here. And it feels very solid. All right, I went ahead and straightened out the exhaust pipe, and I also connected up the silencer. I used a 7mm socket right here to tighten it up. It's a lot easier to do it with a socket rather than trying to use just a regular screwdriver. You can get a lot more torque on it. And the reason I straightened it up is because you don't really want it to be like all curved up because there can be condensation buildup in this exhaust. That's why there's this little hole right here in the silencer. So you want this thing to be kind of angled down so the condensation can run down, go into the silencer and drip out this little hole right here. And also it's just a lot easier to screw into the unit once I get it set up. All right, well, I've got this diesel heater all set up outside. It's dark outside and it's raining. And so this is kind of unfortunate, but we're gonna go ahead and connect it up. My actual goal for this is to keep it here and actually have this area where it's going to vent into the house to heat my house in case of a power outage. I'm actually creating a video on how I am putting all this together. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect it. And then we're gonna see how much heat comes out of here, and we're actually gonna see how loud it is as well, inside and outside of the house. I wanna know if I can even hear it when I'm inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the remote. I've got a 12-volt battery connected to it. I was gonna use the AC outlet and a power station, but it's raining, so I don't want to do that. So I went ahead and just connected it to a 12-volt battery. I went ahead and filled it up with diesel as well. I've got the remote right here, so we're gonna go ahead and just try to turn it on and see what happens. All right, I just turned it on, and that's what the screen looks like. It looks like it shows that it's on 5,000 watts. The battery is at 13.3 volts. Actually, the battery has gone down to 12.4 volts. There is air blowing out of the vent right now, so it is on, but I don't hear a fuel pump or anything. I don't hear anything. I just feel that wind, that air blowing out of that vent. There it goes. You hear that? That's the fuel pump right there. All right, and I'm gonna come back when this thing is running at full blast. All right, well, it's been about 5 minutes and this thing is running at full blast now. You know, and listen, I don't hear anything. I don't hear any ticking. I don't hear anything except for air blowing. It is blowing out some heat. I mean, I can feel it all the way out to here easily. Let's see, the display shows 5,000 watts. The voltage of the battery is 12.9. As you can see, my battery is getting soaking wet, but that's what this thing is meant for. I mean, it's meant to be outside, so it shouldn't care if it's raining or not. Unlike me, who, as you can tell, I am drenched. But let's see, I know this thing also, it comes with an app. So let's go ahead and try to download and connect to the app. All right, well, I just downloaded the BougeRV app. You can see that it is running right now. Combustion efficiency is 99%. Voltage is 12.6 to 12.8. There's also a timing configuration and instructions. And then it looks like you can dial it down from 5 kilowatts to 1.4 kilowatts with this little slider right here. And then there's an animation at the top that shows the diesel heater with a bunch of flames shooting out of it. There's also a power button right there. I'm not going to click that because I don't know if it will just instantly shut it off or if it will ask me to confirm. So all in all, the app is pretty basic and easy, but there's really not much that you need for a diesel heater when it comes to controls. The timer is nice, and then also you can see the efficiency and the current voltage of your battery. And speaking of current voltage of the battery, let's go ahead and switch over to the app for this battery I'm using, and we'll see how much wattage we're actually pulling from that battery currently. All right, and it looks like we are pulling right around 50 watts from that battery right now. It's at 67% state of charge, and it says that it can run at 50 or 48 to 50 watts for about 17 and a half to 18 hours. So that's pretty good. That could run all night very easily. If it was full, we'd probably be able to run this diesel heater for a good 24 hours on the highest setting. But let's go ahead and turn the heater down to the lowest setting and then see how much power it's using. Switch over. Go ahead and lower it all the way down to 1.4. All right, well, I believe it's now down to 1.4 kilowatts of heat. It still says the combustion efficiency is 99%. The voltage of the battery has gone up to 13 volts because there's not as much pull from the battery. So The battery now, it looks like we are only pulling 18 to 21 watts. So we could run it at that speed for the next 47 hours at 67% state of charge. So if you only need a little bit of heat, if you're in a really small tent or something like that and you have this connected to it, you could run this thing for quite a while. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a thermal camera outside and check out how much heat is actually coming out of that diesel heater. All right, I just switched this thing over to all the way up to 5K. You know, when it was turned all the way down to 1.4K of heat, I still did not hear that fuel pump at all. That's really nice. Oh yeah, we're looking at 230 degrees coming out of that hole right there. Yeah, we're now looking at 240 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hot. All right, so I'm gonna let this thing run for like another hour and then probably shut it off. But as for unboxing and connecting this thing up, it couldn't be easier. All I did was fill it up, screw on the exhaust pipe, start it up, I connected a battery, but you can also use an AC outlet for it. It connects right with an XT60 connector on the back of the unit. Super easy, very portable, and it's blown out a lot of heat. So if you have any questions about the BougeRV 5K diesel heater, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll have a link to this item and everything else I used in my description, just in case you want to look further into it. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.